Today we're going to be solving an algorithm called unique letters, or AKA remove duplicates. And in this particular problem, we are going to pass in an array of letters that contain duplicates and return back an array of unique letters, removing all duplicates. We're going to do it, solve it in several different ways. First way is going to be using a for loop and index of method. So I'm going to get started and I'm going to create an array that we will eventually populate with unique letters. And of course, I'm going to, at some point in time, return this array. Okay? Once again, if I return this, I get an empty array. Here I'm going to create our for loop. So we can iterate over the array. So let I is equal to 0, I is less than array dot length, I plus equals 1, and then we're going to do something in here, and this is where our condition happens. And our condition is going to be if letters array, if it contains, or index of contains the letter, it should return back its position, and if not, if the letter does not exist, it returns back -1. So we're asking if this returns back -1, it means that the letter does not exist in the letters array and that we should do something. And what we're going to do is push that letter into the array. Okay, if we do this, we get letters. Oh, because I didn't create the letter. So here, let letter is equal to array I, boom, and now we get it. Okay, so my mistake here was not creating a placeholder for the actual letter value. I mean, we could have put in here array I, but I wanted to split things up, break them down into smaller steps. Okay, so that's the first solution. The second solution here is going to use a for loop again, but we're going to be using the includes method on an array. So once again, I am going to do letters array is equal to an empty array. We will ultimately return the letters array, and we'll do our loop again. So for let I is equal to 0, well, I is less than array.length, I plus equals 1, and here we're going to be doing another condition. So if, and then we're going to do something, right? So in our if statement, we're going to say if letters array includes letter. Once again, I forgot to create the letter variable here. Okay, so we got to do that. But we don't want to say if it includes, oh, look at this, includes letter. We don't want to say if it includes letter. We want to say if it doesn't include letter, and that's where we're going to use this bang operator. And really, the question that we're asking within this condition is this condition not false? That's the condition that we're asking, if it's not false. And of course, yes, it's not false is the answer we're looking for. And if it's yes, the answer is it's not false, then we're going to kind of push it in. So here, I'm going to say letters array dot push, and let's push in the letter. And this should, there we go. Okay. So because includes returns either true or false, okay, if it exists. So index of returns its position. But if we were to do something like letters dot includes, and let's say a, what are we going to get here? We are going to get true. And if we do something like, I don't know, z's not in there, and we run it, we get false. So includes returns true or false. Index of returns the position of the element, or -1 if it doesn't exist. Okay, so that's solution number 2. Now we're going to work on solution number 3, which is here for each and includes again. So we're going to still use includes, but we're going to substitute the for loop with a for each loop. Okay, it's an array method. So we're going to start, and I'm going to, once again, let letters array is equal to an empty array. We are going to return the letters array. Okay, nothing gets returned. It's empty. And now we're going to take the input array and use the for each method. And we are going to say if with includes, again, we're still going to use that previous not letters array dot includes, right? The statement we're making it if is this condition not false, right? We have to pass it the letter. Then we're going to do something, okay? Then we are going to letters array dot push the letter. Okay, and once again, I keep forgetting to do this. Letter. Oh no, don't have to do this anymore. You know why? Because inside of the for each, we have access to the letter elements, the current elements in the array, and we happen to be calling it letter. So we can kind of emulate what we're doing up here, right? So we had to manually create this, and I did this with the intent of once we made it to the for each, that we'd substitute this variable declaration up here for the fact that we'll just call the element letter in the array. And let's test this out. Boom. Once again, unique letters. Awesome. So we're going to move on to the next one. Let's comment this out. Another for each, and this time we're doing includes again. I don't think so. All right, so that was my bad. We're not going to do another for each and includes, so I'm going to get rid of that. We're going to move on to filter. Sweet. Filter, is the cousin of for each, and a filter returns back a unique array of elements. And filter is meant to filter over an array and return a filtered subset of that. So with filter and index of, we are going to first create I'm going to say const. Since it returns an array, we're going to say const letters array is equal to array dot filter, right? So now we can store it in letters array. And in here, we are going to grab the current letter and its index position in the array. Okay, so now that we have the letter's index position, we are going to return the array dot index of letter is equal to the index position. So what we're going to be saying here is that if the array, the current array that we're looping over, if the letter that we find is at the current position that we're at, then we want to return that. But now with an array of duplicates up here, the positions of these elements would be something like this: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Now, when index of runs, it will return back the first matching value. It will not return back the second matching value. Okay, so once again, every time we run this, every time we run letters.index of A, all we're ever going to get back is, let me just comment this out real quick here. All we're ever going to get back is 0, right? Oh, it's telling me unique letters is not defined. Okay, we're going to get back 0. We're never going to get back 1 because index of stops after it finds the first matching value. Consider like index of like an if statement, an if else statement. Really, if it exists, I stop. I return back the value, and then I stop. Okay, so we can use that to our advantage. I'm going to go back here and see what happened. Return index of, because I had 2 My keyboard's a little messed up these days. And it's saying return index of is returning undefined because we did not return the letters array. Okay, let's see. See, we get back a unique array. So once again, when it finds it, it's going to compare what's inside of the array and get its position. And as we're looping over the array, if we're at the letter A, we're at the index position 0. The second iteration, the letter A is at position 1. But if we run index of array on that current letter A, the second one we find, it's not at the same index position, right? Because this only finds the first one. So these indexes are going to be off. And that is kind of the nuance to using filter in order to do this. It's really cool. It's a really unique way of doing it. And the last way to do it is using a set. Okay, now sets are kind of new. They're new to ES6 and not a set, a set. And a set is a special type of collection, set of values without keys, where each value may occur only once. So they are kind of cool. And let's take a look at a set. So I'm going to kind of break this down and do it a little longer way. I mean, there's a shorter way of doing this, but I'm going to once again do, I'm not going to do let, I'm always going to do const because I'm never going to reassign the letters array, right? It's always going to be equal. And then I'm going to return the letters array. Okay, here we go. I'm going to make sure, all right, empty array. So now we're going to use the set. So I'm going to say, I don't know, const letters set, because we're going to create a new set. And we're going to use the new keyword here. We're going to use the new data type set, and we're going to pass it the array. Now, before we do anything, I really want you to see what this returns. So console.log letters set. Okay, and let's take a look at what this returns. It returns this. It returns an object with only keys, unique keys at this point in time. So it's a great tool to work through an array and return only unique keys, right? I mean, it did it for us. However, our objective is to return an array, and this is clearly a unique set of keys in an object. So we're going to have to use a looping construct, and since a set is an iterable, we're going to use the for of loop, and we're going to say for let letter of letters set. So we're going to loop over the letter set, and letter will be the current letter. And we're going to say letters array dot push, and we're going to push in letter, and we can then return this unique array. Okay. The other way of doing this is, instead of returning this, I'm going to do this. We could have said return array from new set array. This is a really, really short way of doing this, and this should also new set. Oh, it's not new set, it's new space set, right? Boop. And that's another way of doing it. The array dot from creates a new array, and it's creating a new array based on this particular set. So it's a really short way of doing what we just did here, this kind of much longer way. But I wanted to do the longer ways so we could really discuss what was happening here. So I'm going to kind of comment this out. That's the alternate solution. And there we go. Cool. So I hope this really helped in understanding several different ways to work through this solution. And yeah, please leave a comment.